Hi, lovely. Thanks so much for being here. I'm Margie, and today we're running through something that's costing most of you money every single month. It isn't necessary that revenue is your problem in your salon. It's what is left in the bank at the end of the week. That is what the problem is. Now, I'm actually re-recording the live workshop, so you'll see on my slides some requests for you to comment and a few other things that are not relevant now that we're watching the replay. Unfortunately, the internet went down and we lost some of the recording. Okay, so before we officially start, I want to ask you something, and I want you to answer honestly. Do you feel busy but not properly rewarded? Now, I usually hear a lot of yeses to that question, and I get it. And I want to be completely transparent with you. I have two goals for this workshop. So my first goal is to give you the single most valuable insight into your salon's finances that you've ever received. And I'm going to show you exactly where your profit is leaking. My second goal is really simple. If I deliver on that promise, then at the end of this workshop, I'm going to make a special offer for a small group of people who want my personal help to implement this. How does that sound? Now, there's a worksheet attached for you to work on throughout the session. So just click on the link and take a copy. And whilst you are doing that, I want to tell you a story. I worked with a salon owner who was doing $50,000 a month in revenue. $50,000, right? That sounds amazing. But at the end of the month, she was only keeping $5,000. The rest just disappeared. And when we looked at where it went, it wasn't one big problem. It was three things. So she had a pricing drift, she had a discount creep, and a low rebooking rate. And these small leaks added up to costing her $7,500 a month minimum. And that equates to about $90,000 a year that she should have kept. So by the end of this workshop, you're going to know exactly where your money is leaking and what to do about it. So why should you listen to me? I am a fellow salon owner. I still have my own profitable salon that runs without me. And 6 years ago, I was where many salon owners are right now. So my revenue was climbing, okay, it was increasing, but my bank account wasn't. So I was paying my team, my suppliers, my landlord, and I was paying myself last. And it wasn't until I stopped chasing volume and started focusing on margin that everything changed. And this isn't just my story. So we've got the lovely Margarita here. So Margarita, in her last quarter of 2025, when she was working with me, she earned more than she did the entire previous 12 months. She was stuck at 10% net profit or lower, and some of her treatments, actually quite a few of her treatments, were costing her money. In 30 days, we got her to 25% net profit, which was how she was able to earn so much more in a shorter period of time without new clients. Or Karina, the lovely Karina. So she was fully booked and scared to raise her prices, but also uncertain of what formula to use to raise them. So she implemented the Visionary Seller Mastery Framework, and by her 4th week inside my coaching, her net profit margin has jumped to, this is an average, it's a huge 35% net profit margin. And to her, that is like at least an extra $1,000 a week. So these are the kind of results that happen when you fix the structure. So just to make it real, if your salon has $50,000 a month in revenue, at 12% net profit, you keep $6,000. Now, the salons inside my program are structured to run at a minimum 25% net profit. So at the same $50,000 a month, your take home is $12,500. Okay, that's $78,000 a year. Okay, I call it a stuck tax. And a stuck tax is what you lose when your profit margin's where they should be because you've got a weak structure. Now, does that sound like a client problem or does that sound like a structure problem? Okay, so have you accessed the worksheet? Okay, so before we talk about growth strategies, I want to quickly assess where your salon is actually sitting right now. Okay, because most salon owners think their problem is not enough clients. And yes, that can be a problem, but it isn't always the case. So the reality is the biggest issue is usually money leaking out of the business. So before you start focusing on getting more clients, the first place to start is to make sure that your treatments are priced correctly. You don't want to be going on a big marketing campaign, attracting people to your salon so that you do get as busy as you want to be, only to discover that you're not charging enough. Okay. So salons can be fully booked. The team can be really busy. The diary can look really full. And yet you as the owner can be stressed, but also underpaid. So before we do a quick diagnostic, I'd like you to complete part 1 on your worksheet. So do any of these feel familiar to you? My salon is busy, but I'm not paying myself what I expected. Revenue is growing, but profit isn't. I feel constantly busy, but financially stressed. Do you rely on discounts or promotions to fill the diary? And if you've got a team, is your team busy, but the business still feels light? Now, if you've ticked any of these, you're absolutely not alone. So getting back to this diagram. So this diagram represents the 5 profit levers in your salon business. These are the 5 key areas of your business that you need to nail in order to have a profitable and sustainable salon. So for each of these levers, and I'm going to go through them with you, I want you to give yourself a score from 1 to 10 on your worksheet. Okay, so 1 is the lowest, which means you've got a major leak. 10 means you've completely nailed it. And I've got one rule. You can't choose 7. Okay, 7 isn't a number today. 7 is where people hide when they don't want to admit there's a problem. So you've got to choose either 6 or 8. Fair? Okay, let's get started. So here we've got planning and goal setting, planning and clear targets. Do you actually know the numbers that your salon needs to hit? Have you planned what that is? Okay, so your monthly revenue target, your break-even point, your profit goal. Or are you just hoping that your diary fills up and the month works out? Do you have a plan that's written down and you are taking the action steps to make those plans or those goals actually come to fruition? Okay, so if you don't have that, you operate in reaction mode instead of leadership mode. So go ahead and score yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. How clear are your financial targets? How clear is your planning for your business? The next one is numbers and break even. Okay, so do you know the real cost of running your salon? So your wages, your product costs, your rents, your overheads. Most salon owners do look at revenue, but very few actually understand their profit structure. And so that's why salons can generate $40,000 or $50,000 a month and still feel financially tight. Okay, so be honest. How well do you know your numbers? Score yourself from 1 to 10. Now, lever 3 is marketing. Smart marketing. Are you attracting the right clients intentionally? Or are you relying on random posting on Instagram without a strategy? Are you relying on word of mouth? Are you just hoping that people will book? So smart marketing means your message attracts the right clients, not more clients. You want clients who value your work, who rebook, and who don't question your prices. So score yourself. How strategic is your marketing? And a quick check as well. Do you feel like you're posting on Instagram consistently, but it doesn't always translate into bookings? So if you've said yes, it's because marketing without structure creates activity, okay, not always results. Now, lever 4 is client journey and systems. This is where a lot of hidden revenue sits. So it's your consultation process, your rebooking system, your retail recommendations, your upselling treatments. Okay, when this lever is strong, every client visit becomes more valuable. When it's weak, money walks out the door every single day. So score yourself from 1 to 10. And lever 5 is leadership and team performance. So if you've got a team, this lever is huge. If you're solo, this is still relevant to you. So are you or your team members rebooking clients, recommending retail, supporting revenue growth, or is the business relying completely on you? Because when leadership systems are strong, the salon grows beyond the owner, and it grows without a ceiling. There's no glass ceiling for you to hit your head on. Okay, so score yourself. Now, what I'd like you to do now is to add up your 5 scores, and your total will be between 5 and 50. Now, what this means, I'll just actually go to this thing. What this means is if you are below 20, it means that you have structural leaks in the business, and you're likely to be working hard, but the business isn't supporting profitability. If you're at 20 to 35, you've got real potential, but you've got key levers that are holding you back. And above 35, this means you're actually in a really strong position to scale. You just need to tighten the remaining gaps. So add up your total scores and make sure that you know what they are. Did you find at least one lever that needs work? Because what I see all the time is that salon owners are hardworking, talented women. They're running busy salons, or they're trying to turn their salon into a busy salon. So they're busy trying to do that. You know, some of them have got full diaries, and yet still feeling like the financial reward doesn't match the effort. Or you could be in a position where you own a salon and you don't have the revenue there because you've got a leak in one of the levers, or you don't have enough clients, and so you're going off and you have a second job, which is, if that's what you want to do, that is fine. But if it's not, fix these levers and your business will be profitable. The truth is, most salon owners were never taught how to structure a salon business for profit, okay? You were taught to do treatments, how to deliver beautiful work, you know, how to care for your clients. But very few people ever teach salon owners how to build the business behind the salon. And that's exactly why I do the work that I do today, because I truly believe salon owners deserve more than just being busy. They deserve profitable businesses that reward their effort. So what I want to do now is show you the 5 levers that determine whether a salon struggles financially or becomes consistently profitable. Because the really good news is every single one of the leaks is fixable. And when you fix just one lever properly, the financial results can change really, really quickly. Now, if you stay to the end of this training, I'm going to show you how salons move from this diagnostic into building a consistent 25% minimum profit structure. Okay, so what we're going to do next is to break down how profitable salons strengthen these 5 levers, because salons operating at 25% net profit margin do not rely on luck. Okay, they've built their businesses deliberately across all of these areas. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just ask you a series of questions, and they're direct questions about your business. Now, this is really detailed, so complete this on part 3 of your worksheet. So question 1, what is your average dollar sale right now? Okay, don't overthink it. I don't want you to go away and look at it either. So please don't open your point of sale system and find the answers. I want you to put the answers down right now, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Question 2, how many clients are you seeing per week on average? Question 3, what percentage of your clients rebook in 4 weeks? So out of every 10 clients that come in, how many come back? Number 4, how many discounts are you currently running? And I mean like percentage off, birthday specials, loyalty discounts, all of it. How many different discounts? And question 5, when you think about your discount depth, what is the average discount you're giving? You know, is it 10%, 20%, or 30%? And the last one is, do you have idle chair time? You know, like as in empty chairs that aren't being used. You know, how many hours a week are you losing? So if you have gaps, you've got a chair utilization problem. Now, my question to you is, do you know the answers to all of these questions? Or are you having a light bulb moment? Because you do need to know the answers to these questions. Okay, so in part 4 on your worksheet, just write where your biggest leak is. Okay, so now I want to run a diagnostic on your salon's net profit margin percentage. So you've got the link to this planner. I'm just going to bring it across for you if I can grab it. So just bear with me so I can show it to you. Okay, this is what you have a link to. Okay, so what I'd like you to put in here is, and the link to this is actually on your worksheet, sorry, this is on your worksheet, so you can just click the link on your worksheet. And this is a guide for you only, just to get an understanding very fast about your overall current net profit margin. So what I'd like you to do here is input in here your weekly revenue ex GST, what your weekly expenses are, and what your weekly wages are, including superannuation. Okay, so I'll show you how this works. So say your weekly revenue is 5,000 and your weekly expenses are 1,000. Oops. And your weekly wages are 1,200. You're at 56% net profit margin. So you are on track. However, if you use, I'm just making these numbers up, 4,000 are your expenses and your weekly wages are 1,200, you're off track. Your net profit margin is -4. So you want to be in the green and you want to be up and over 25%. Okay, so where are you right now? So if you are in the green, awesome, that is fantastic. But ask yourself, how much further can you increase your prices? Because as I said before, inside Visionary Salon Mastery, 25% is the minimum. Now, for those, I'm assuming that you understand what your net profit margin is. That is the money that you have in your bank at the end of the week, the month, the year, after everything is paid, every expense is paid. Okay. So what we do is when we're in the green and we're at 25%, we go into further detail to structure our salons to support a higher profit margin. You've got to justify your prices. Your prices have got to be in line with the services that you provide. Okay. And the aim is for you to work less and earn more. Okay. The aim isn't for us to support our salons, but for our salons to support us. Now, if you're in the red, you've got a gap and it's costing you money every single day. Let me give you an example so you can see how it works. So if a salon's doing $5,000 a week, say that's roughly $20,000 a month. Now, if that salon is sitting at 12% net profit, they're only keeping about $2,400. But at 25%, they should be keeping $5,000. That's like $2,600 every month not being kept, every single month, which is over $30,000 a year. That's a car, it's a holiday, it's breathing room. Okay, it's what you should have. And also remember, this is just an example. Your numbers are going to be different. But one thing that I will say is that the gap between where you are and where you should be is usually much bigger than salon owners realize. Okay, and so that's the leak. So now what we're going to do is talk about which lever moves fastest for you based on the answers to those 6 questions I asked earlier. Okay, this is real data, which tells you which one of the 5 levers, if I pulled this lever right now, which lever would move the needle the fastest for me? So answer that, put that into your worksheet in part 5. So if your rebooking rate's at 35% when it should be 70, or 45% when it should be 65, that's your lever. Are you running 40% discounts when you should be running none? That's pricing, strategy, and mindset. You know, or maybe you're seeing 15 clients a week when you should see 25. Okay, that's capacity. That's the lever that you got to focus on. Now, I'm going to give you an example of an action to take if your rebooking is your lever, because we gather this data, we do something with it. When you're running your business like a CEO, this is the sort of actions that you are taking. So, Monday, audit your current rebooking system. What's the actual process? Write it down. Don't change it yet. We just want to see what you're doing. We want to see what is happening right now. On Tuesday, create your follow-up message, whatever that follow-up message is. You're going to follow up your lost clients and also your clients that are coming in right now that haven't rebooked. Follow them up in 24 hours if they haven't rebooked. On Wednesday, you're going to train your team on the message, because consistency is everything. You've got to be consistent with this, and it's got to be done every single day of every single week of every single year. So Thursday, start tracking your rebooking percentage daily. You can't improve something that you don't measure. And Friday, you review it. What worked? What needed adjusting? 1 week of data, 1 week of learning. It gives very, very powerful results. And you do that until you're happy with that process. Then you go to the next lever. Okay? It's 5 days, 5 steps. That's your first week. And those tasks for each day are not going to take you very long to do. So what happens when you do this? Your rebook rate goes from 40 to 65%. And suddenly you're making an extra $4,200 next month just from one lever. And that's real money, okay? That's what we're talking about. Does that sound familiar? Is all of this making sense to you? And just think to yourself now, what is your biggest takeaway so far? What's coming up for you? Okay, so by now you've probably realized something. Most salon owners don't have a motivation problem. They have a structure problem. And once the structure changes, everything else becomes so much easier. Your marketing becomes easier. Your pricing becomes easier. Your team becomes easier to manage. And the business finally starts rewarding the effort that you're putting in. Because profitable salons aren't built on just being busy, that busy hustle, okay? They're built on structure. They've got the 4 legs on the table, not 2 legs on the table that's crashed onto the ground, but you've got your 4 legs on the table. That structure makes life very, very easy. So here's the thing. What you learned today, the 5 levers, the diagnostic, the first implementation steps, that's the foundation. But if you really want to hit 25% net profit margin plus and keep their money, you need someone walking you through this with your specific numbers. And that's why I built the program I'm about to show you. This is Visionary Salon Mastery. It's a 90-day implementation program designed to do one thing: install the complete 5-lever operating system into your salon. So what we do, in the first 30 days, we sit down, we run your numbers and show you exactly which of the 5 levers is bleeding the most profit. By day 30, you're going to know your true net profit margin to the dollar. Okay, you're going to know if it's pricing, rebooking, idle capacity, or wage creep. And you're going to plug the first one. The next 30 days, we systemize your marketing and client journey. So you've got predictable revenue. And in the final 30 days, we focus on leadership, implementing the tools to get your team driving growth. And that's for you is if you're solo. It's the same principle. Okay, you're freeing yourself up. You're freeing yourself to be the CEO of your business. And a lot of salon owners do not see themselves as being business owners or CEOs, but you actually are. You're sitting on a gold mine. Now, when you join, you get access to everything you need. You've got the full curriculum, all the tools, the scripts, 3 months of live coaching calls with me. We've got the team performance system, a custom roadmap for your salon. It's a complete end-to-end solution. And I am so confident in this system that I'm going to take all the risk. Okay, it's my 25% net profit margin guarantee. If you implement the 5-lever system, show up to at least 2 weekly coaching calls and follow the roadmap we build together, and I'm so confident in this system that I'm going to take all of the risk. It's my 25% net profit margin guarantee. If you implement the 5-lever system we give you, show up to at least 2 weekly coaching calls and follow the roadmap we build together, you will hit at least 25% net profit margin within 90 days. Sooner than that, but definitely 90 days. Okay. If you don't, I will work with you for free until you do. No time limit. Okay. No asterisks. You absolutely cannot lose. So what's the investment? One payment of $3,900, or if you want to spread it out, $400 to secure your spot, and then $375 for 12 weeks. Either way, you're locking in the guarantee and getting started immediately. Now, I want to be really clear about something. Watching this workshop alone won't change your salon, okay? Real change happens when you actually implement the structure, okay? Because the difference between salon owners who build profitable businesses and salon owners who stay stuck is the real question isn't whether it works. It's not whether this works. The real question is whether you're ready to implement it. Because if your salon is already busy, imagine what happens when the structure behind it is finally right. Now, why do I care so much about this? Okay, because I almost lost my salon chasing revenue instead of profit. Booked solid, pulling $55,000 a month. I didn't have enough money. I was paying everybody else first. My team were back to back also and very, very stressed, I have to say. And when I fixed the structure, I realized that 55,000 doesn't mean anything if I'm only going to keep 12. I don't need my girls to be back to back. In fact, when I give them breathing space, we earn more revenue. And I see so many of you on that same path. So this program exists because I don't want to see talented salon owners burn out because they believe the lie that more clients fixes everything, because it absolutely does not. Okay, a better business model is most definitely the answer. Okay, so here's where you are right now. You've got 2 paths from here. So path 1 is the do-it-yourself path. You take what you learned today and about the 5 levers, and you try to piece it together yourself. You'll spend the next 12 to 18 months on trial and error, getting frustrated, figuring out which lever actually moves the needle for your salon. And every single month you're not fixing this, you're paying the stuck tax. That's like $4,000 to $6,000 a month that's being left on the table. Path 2 is visionary salon mastery. You get the proven step-by-step operating system. You get templates, live coaching, team performance system, the custom roadmap, my Margie box, where you can create a full month's worth of strategic content in minutes. You'll nail your messaging. You'll learn how to run ads that attract your perfect clients. You'll learn how to do Google profile. You'll learn how to be at the top of your SEO with that, as well as nail your meta, Facebook and Instagram. You'll be attracting your perfect clients. You'll install the entire system in 90 days, and you'll start seeing results in the first 30. The only difference between the 2 is time, money, and certainty. So here's the thing. We've got 10 spots available for this 90-day program, and I'm limiting it to 10 because I'm personally involved. I do every single onboarding, okay, and every single strategy session. So that means we fill these spots fast. We've already filled 3 of them on the live workshop. So here's what happens next. You click the link that's in your worksheet. Book a strategy call with me. Okay. It's not a sales call. Okay. On that call, we'll take your numbers through the bot, and we'll run your specific situation through the 5 levers. Okay. And I'll show you what your custom roadmap looks like for the next 90 days. And now on the live workshop, we had an offer for the first 5 people who booked to get a private one-on-one kickstart call with me personally. There are 2 of those left. Okay, so if you want to book your strategy call, just click on the link There's only 2 spots left for the actual bonus. Thank you for your time and focus today. Now, you've got a choice in front of you right now. You can keep doing what you're doing, keep worrying about money every single month, or you can make a strategic move and actually fix your business model. For a real CEO, the choice is pretty clear. Now, if you do have any questions, feel free to message me in Messenger at Salon Mastery Society. Now, the link to Salon Mastery Society is at the bottom of your worksheet. If you've got any questions, I am more than happy to go over them with you. Okay, so make sure that you ask your questions. If you're ready to make a move, book that strategy call. And thank you so much for joining me.